Okay, now to set this up. Let's close that. Hey, hey, hey. I'm checking to see if this thing is actually working. Might be a little bit behind for you guys because I'm checking. You can see I'm looking at the other window here. This is a new computer, as y'all can tell. If you look back right there, that's the old computer by the door. So, check in to see who's on here. I'm just doing a live stream test, making sure that this computer is actually doing good. So far it says it's got 0 frames dropped and it's running 8,921 kbps. So that is good. However, it shows that the other stream is lagging. So I'm not sure what to think of that. I'm not sure how y'all are seeing things on your screen. I tried to set up the camera. I'm gonna try to do camera view with my videos so that y'all can see me talking to you from now on. So we'll see how that works out. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. Ooh, shame on me, right? Okay, so anyways, so today I was looking at earthquakes, and I'll show you what I was looking at. Let's see if I can get to it. This has been a busy world here. So let's show you this real quick. And we'll go to the 5s. And we'll see that there was a 5.8 off the coast of Chiapas, Mexico. And we're going to actually look at this earthquake on Google Earth. Because I look at a lot of earthquakes that occurred down in Mexico to see what might be coming up for California. So, let's go, oops. Things are different with this computer, so everything for me is backwards. Like the screen that I am actually doing the work on now used to be the one for streaming, and the other side was for work. So everything's different now, so I have to learn to do it backwards. Alright, so here we go. You can see I put in all the big earthquakes that have occurred during the last 2 weeks for Mexico. So this is where this one occurred at. This was the 5.9 here. And then when we look over here, we have the Cocos Plate. So we're looking here, we can see the Pacific Cocos divergent boundary. And the Pacific Cocos divergent boundary is Nazca Cocos. And this one is Pacific Cocos. So when we're looking over here, let me see if I can pull this up. This one is Pacific Nazca. So this plate here, I have noticed that the bigger earthquakes for Mexico have been all the way down into here. I did not pull up Guatemala, Honduras, or Nicaragua, so I assume that it's the same, but this area is becoming very busy. So when we see earthquakes here, then we should see them coming up through here. We can see that there has been bigger earthquakes in Mexico here. This one was a 6.2. This occurred on 11/22/2022. So I pulled up earthquakes for the past few years, the bigger earthquakes, so we can look at the dates when they have actually occurred. This one was 8/17/2020. So as we go down here, these are all the big earthquakes that have occurred in the past few years. So it's just something to keep an eye on because they've actually had quite a few big earthquakes in the past few years. So that would be the last 5 years worth of big earthquakes for Mexico. What you think, you guys? Hey there, Richard. How are you doing? Thanks for popping in here to check this out. I was just going over the history of the earthquakes in Mexico according to EMSC as to what the big ones were. Let me show you all. I can pull this up on here and I'll show y'all what I pulled up. So we'll do Mexico and Mexico. And I'm leaving that blank there. So that's for a search. I'm going to do a search here. Then I'm going to pull up 5s and over. And when I pulled these up, I pulled up all the earthquakes for one page. So that's just one page worth of earthquakes all the way back to, well, actually I went back to 2020. So let me see here, there's 18, 19, 20. So we went back to 2020, which would have been here, which was Oaxaca, Mexico. And we went forward. So something else I was noticing when I was looking is this one occurred on 6/18, this one occurred on 5/13/2025. Both of this was a 5.9, this was a 5.8. So it leads me to think when I'm looking at this that this area might be getting more active, because we can see one here which was a 5.9. This was 10/16/2024. So if we take it and think the medium might be 2 to 3 to 4, but when we're looking at 2024, you can see that there was quite a lot of earthquakes from Mexico in 2024. But when I'm looking at just Chiapas, Mexico, off the coast, where the Cocos Plate is, you can see that there has been 3, and that is within the last 2 years. And not too far spaced apart, because this was 10/16/2024. So what, only about 9 months ago. So we're looking at this area here, and I'm seeing that it looks a bit more busy. Then you can see this one here was 3/16/2024. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a bigger earthquake. And also, I'm looking at the depths on them, on these earthquakes here. This one was 161, it was a 5.1. Then we're looking at this one that occurred on 5/5/2025. It was 261 kilometers deep. Then you got these 5.9 and 5.8. So we did have some deeper 5s, but this 5/5/2025 was 261 kilometers deep. So we'll have to still watch and see, because some of these may be aftershocks, but some of them may also be earthquakes. And the deeper they are, it makes me think that they're earthquakes. Well, they are earthquakes, duh, but something to keep an eye on. Let's see what other information we've had for today, earthquake-wise. So, Canary Islands, Spain region is also having earthquakes again, and we're looking at a 2.3 here today. Sorry, you guys, I couldn't watch any more war news. I've been watching the news about wars here lately, and it just, I don't want to see that our country's going to war, or think that our country's going to war, or any of that right now. So I have to think of other things to get my mind off of things. Now, there was a 4.1 Fox Island, Aleutian Islands today. This one was 72 kilometers southeast of Akutan, and that's the United States. Population there is 1,000. So we'll get this in here real quick and take a look at where this is located. And this looks like it's back over in our area where we had been seeing earthquakes before. However, because I don't have my other computer, I don't have my marks for the bigger earthquakes on it anymore. Ooh. But that's Akutan there, so we know that we're in the same region of the bigger earthquakes that have been hitting. So this could be an aftershock. I believe the last one that was there was 5.9, so let's take a look. Let's go. So the last one there, this one was Kodiak Island region. So we can see those 5.3, 5.3. There's a 5.6 there. Unimak, South Alaska. So the bigger earthquakes, we've had 5.2s. The last 5.2 was 5/23, 2025, and then we'll see the fours. So this is northern Alaska. This is 6/14/13. And then threes. Today is the 18th. So there have been 3 threes today, a 3.1, a 3.2, and a 3.8. I'm sorry, excuse me, 4 and a 3.2. Alaska Peninsula, Central Alaska, Northern Alaska, and South of Alaska. So there has been 3 threes today. The biggest one was a 3.8. And this one here that I was looking at, the 4.0, 4.1, Fox Island, Aleutian Islands. Let's do Aleutian Islands for this one. Won't pull up that way. Let's see here. Fox Islands, Aleutian Islands. There we go. We'll pull it up that way because I was looking at it a different way, but that's not the way to have looked at it. So, when we're looking here, the last big one, and like I was talking about, was 126. No, I'm sorry, 428. 428, 2025. And the bigger one before that was 126, 2025. So we're having a 4.0 in that area. That's why I say I think it's an aftershock. Hello, Betty Zoom. How are you doing? Nice to see you over here. Then we can also see, if we go back all the way to 7/19/2024, those at 6.0. So this area is moving. So that's what we have for that. All right, so let's see here. What do we have that was big today? Because I'm not seeing anything really big. I do have something to show y'all, though. Dun, 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 dun. We do have a hurricane. Hurricane Eric. Hurricane Eric is going to hit Mexico. So, Eric continues to rapidly intensify and is expected to be a major hurricane when it reaches the coast of western Oaxaca or eastern Guerrero within the hurricane warning area late tonight or early Thursday. Devastating wind damage is possible where the core of the storm moves onshore. Weather conditions are already deteriorating and preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion before sunset. Eric will produce heavy rainfall across portions of Central America, southwest Mexico through this week. Life-threatening flooding and mudslides are likely, especially in areas of steep terrain. Yeah, I think I'm thinking about sleep. Okay, steep terrain. A dangerous, life-threatening storm surge is expected to produce coastal flooding near and to the east of where the center crosses the coast. In areas of onshore winds, the surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. So, that was the one that I was not so sure about. The other two did fizzle out. This is the newest one that came out. And it's got winds sustained of 95 knots or 110 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure is 967 millibars. And its movement is northwest at 8 knots or 9 miles per hour. So that is something to be keeping an eye on. Let's take a look at the warning cone. Of course, the warning cone shows that it's here. It's going to be a major storm by the time it makes landfall. Then it'll peter out into a tropical storm and then a depression. So hopefully it just dies. So we'll see what it does here. You can see this here is 90 to 100% of wind speed probability. Then further out you go, that's 5 to 10%, 10 to 20%, then you have 20 to 30%, and so on until you reach 100%. So this is not a storm to take lightly if you are down in this area. Please, please, please make sure that you get away from the coast and that you are in your safe spaces. This one is going to become a bad hurricane. This one is predicted to be a major hurricane. So that could be upwards, perhaps a Cat 4 or Cat 5. And let me see here. I'll show y'all how you figure out categories of hurricanes. So, hurricanes are categorized from a 1 to 5 based on wind speed using the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Category 1 hurricanes have winds of 74 to 95 miles per hour, while Category 5s have wind speeds exceeding 156 miles per hour. Now, this hurricane is already at, what did they say, 100 miles per hour? Well, almost 100. It's got wind speeds of 110. That's why it is going to be a probable Category 5 by the time that it makes it to land. So that is something that it's going to become a major hurricane by tonight, expected to bring potentially destructive winds and life-threatening flash flooding to portions of southern Mexico late tonight and Thursday, which is tomorrow. So, batten down the hatches, you guys. Let's see, what am I looking for? Rainfall potential. Here's your rainfall potential. Rainfall potential is 12 to 16 inches of rain, or 300 to 400 millimeters, and that's on the coast here. And you got this 16 to 20, 400 to 500 millimeters, or 16 to 20 inches right here offshore, but the red is showing 12 to 16 inches, or 300 to 400 millimeters of rain. So that is something to keep an eye on. And even the orange areas all the way up here in Oaxaca and Guerrero, those areas there are showing that you are looking at getting 8 to 12 inches, or 200 to 300 millimeters of rain. And even further out here, you're going to get 4 to 6 inches of rain in this yellow. This greenish area here is 2 to 4 inches, and this light green area is 1 to 2. So you can see it over here. I'll leave that just for a second so y'all can peek at that. That is something to be keeping an eye on. So, anyways, you guys, so what happened to me? Well, the other night, and this was 2 days ago, what was it, 3 days ago, because I spent a whole day offline. I was in my bathroom, which is, hang on, which is that way, and I was looking towards that window, and it was storming really, 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 really bad, right? And I had turned off my computer, and I was like, okay, I'm not worrying about anything. And then next thing I saw was the brightest flash. And I was like, oh my God. And then I heard a pop. And I'm like, what the heck was that, right? So the electric went out for like a millisecond, came back on, right? And I kept waiting for the internet to come back on. The internet didn't come back on because I had actually had my TV on. I was watching YouTube. And internet didn't come back on. So I reset it, and I'm like, okay. And then I noticed the red light, but the red light was like there's 4 red lights. It was the bottom red light. And I'm like, what is wrong with this thing? It won't come back on, right? So then I get a message. I called Spectrum and said, oh, your service is due to be restored by 5 a.m. So I'm like, okay, it's due to be restored by 5 a.m. Might as well just go to bed, right? I wake up. Oh, I think it was 4:30 in the morning. I had gotten a message from Spectrum on my phone that says, your internet's been restored. I'm looking at the box and I'm like, it hasn't been restored. So then I got up. I went over and reset the box again. And the box didn't reset. And I'm thinking, okay, something's really wrong with this thing, right? So about 5:30 in the morning, I got a hold of the technical, and I'm telling them my internet's not working. And they said, well, we can't reach your box. And I'm like, what the heck, right? So they make an appointment to come out by 8 o'clock last night. So I'd been without internet all the way through till last night. And the biggest reason that I'm actually running the computer right now and letting it run for a little bit is because it was hooked up to the cord. However, when the technicians came out, my internet box was fried, the tower was fried, the wires were fried, and the the cord, the cable cord that attaches to it, I forgot the name of the cord. Anyway, it was fried. So they had to replace all the cords, the tower, and the receiver. So everything was replaced, right? So then today I was just like, okay, when I turned my computer back on, I was worrying so that I could make sure that my computer wasn't fried. Because as you guys know, I just replaced my computer. My computer was attached to the wire. The wire that was attached to my computer was fried. So I'm like, okay, all day today I've been going through my computer, making sure everything's still working, making sure everything's still set, making sure that it's not having a problem. It only had one problem. When it went to sleep, it didn't want to wake up, and I had to do a hard reboot. So that was the only thing that I could find wrong so far. And you know, this computer is only a week old. Let me show you guys. Okay, let me see here. This is the new computer right there. So that's the new computer that I'm on. Oh, let me see if I can place this thing right again. Okay. That's the new computer. The old computer, as I said, is right over there. It's right there sitting next to the puppy's food. There's Penny's down there at her water bowl. But yeah, that was what happened. So that's why I wasn't on yesterday. I didn't know if they were going to be able to fix the issue. Now, a few years ago, I had a problem with my internet, and it ended up being out in the yard. There's a piece that's out in the yard that they run underneath ground, and it had, what do you call it? It had corrosion on it, so it had stopped working. So I had assumed, because, you know, I'd seen the lightning, I didn't know what happened. They told me they're going to come back. They've got to dig up outside and take a look at the equipment outside. However, the box itself was fried, and what they told me is lightning can hit in an area, depending on the way that the energy goes. I got lucky. I don't know where it hit, but all I know is I heard that pop, and I was like, what the heck? It was a nice loud little bang, okay? And he told me, he said, you're lucky that thing didn't catch on fire. So I got a new tower and a new receiver and all of that stuff for the computer. And I'm looking at myself on the other screen. That's funny. Okay, so I got a new tower and all of that stuff for my computer. And I did learn something else. I have everything on a surge protector. Okay, so my stuff is hooked up to surge protectors all the time. However, they told me that when the electric goes out, even though it's on a surge protector, it can still end up damaging the equipment. So that's something to remember if y'all ever have any problems with your internet boxes or stuff like that. It can still trip the equipment because they have, and he told me they have really sensitive, it's really sensitive equipment. So we have power surges here off and on because people will be down the street and they'll hit a pole, or they get into a car accident, slam into a pole, or we get lightning, or a tree falls on a line, or whatever. Hello, Richard. Let me see here. Who else we got in chat? Betty Zoom. Betty Zoom says we had a downpour but didn't last long. Oh my, that lightning hit. Building must have... Well, I'm going to tell you something. This building that I live in, it has electrical issues. I do know that. We get power surges all the time in this building. I could have sworn I saw George. Hey, George, I see you. So, you guys, I spent this morning at the dentist. No, I didn't have any dental surgery. My teeth did, though. Okay, so, anyways. Most modern buildings will ground out before they burn anything. Yeah, they will, but I'll tell you what, that storm the other night, I have not seen it storm like that here in so long. Hi. Oh, you want to be on camera? You got to stand behind me.
No, I'm ugly right now. I'm drunk and I'm high now.
You're what?
I'm drunk and I'm high.
Oh, well, that's always something to be. My daughter's... What is that? That is coffee beans. They're espresso coffee beans. You sure you don't want some more of those?
I haven't eaten them.
These.
Yeah, I look like I was gonna. Oh, yeah, no, those are great.
I have to show you guys something.
They look
okay.
like poops.
Okay, you guys. These are marshmallow swirls, okay?
They look like poop.
Tell me what they look like.
They look like cartoon poops, the swirly poops.
Here you go.
My daughter was saying to
My
my
daughter's
mom,
like, what is
your
that?
granddaughter.
Rainbow poop?
Your granddaughter was saying that they were marshmallow poops.
Everybody sees your
You want a
hand.
marshmallow poop?
Bye, Anna.
Bye, Ma.
You own a professional ground testing machine? Well, that's cool.
You want to go to bed soon?
So anyways, you guys, I am feeling much better, as y'all can tell. Oh boy. I'm feeling a lot better. I had a headache for since the day that lightning came in. I had a headache that night and most of yesterday. Unicorn poop. Hey Anna, unicorn poop. My granddaughter even looked at it and said, Grandma, what are you trying to feed me? Skylet! Come here. Come say hi. Right here. Say hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Okay, go on. Bye.
Bye. Look at this.
Yeah, okay, go. So anyways, you guys, I just wanted to do a real quick live stream, get on and talk to you guys, go through some earthquakes, and shoot the breeze with y'all to see how this computer's running. So far, it seems good. Hopefully. I have not downloaded anything else on it yet. I'm looking at my sounds here to make sure they're still good. It says volume is 7%. That's not 7%. Let's see here. What do we have this on? That's at full. Microphone. I'm using the condenser that you sent me, George. As you can see right here in front of me. It works awesome. George says hi, short stuff. Yeah, she's out of school and she is bored and she can't wait to go back to school. So what else we had happen today? Besides President Trump said that he had talked to his people, has made plans for attacking Iran, but that he has not given a order yet. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. You know, my biggest fear is, I mean, a lot of people don't think about it. Here in the United States, we just don't think that we're ever going to get attacked by another country. And we have other countries that don't like the United States. So we do have to be worried about whether or not these other countries would actually take and shoot a missile at us. We've never had to deal with that in our country in, 100 years? So people here don't remember what it's like to be at war inside the United States. So it is something that we have to think about when everybody's calling for the United States to get into the war with Iran and get involved and this and that. Well, they're threatening the United States, you know? So they got missiles, and I'm pretty sure that they would try to shoot some at us. I mean, if you think about it, and this is how I've always thought about it, they call the United States the big shaitan. They call Israel the little shaitan. I look at Iran and I say the big evil devil. Okay? Because that's how I was raised to believe. But I will tell you, I have met Iranians in my life. They were nice people. But I will never turn my back on anybody that is that is Arab, because they will be your friend to your face and stab you in the back. So that's just what I remember. Now, if somebody were to prove me wrong on that one, but not from what I've seen. Richard, you're going to try for an elite special sniper group? When you going to do that? I'm still waiting for Canada to see if it gets rid of the king. Canada needs to elect a president and break away from the UK and Britain and all of that and stand on its own 2 feet. I mean, y'all have the United States military to help you out, but still. Alright, you guys. It has been 29 minutes. I'm going to check this again. So it still says it's dropping 0 frames, which is good. It still is running less kbps though. Well, now it's at 9. It's dropping. It's running between 8,000 and 9,000. But it is using 7.1% CPU. I guess that's good. This computer is supposedly better than the old computer, so we'll see. I don't see a whole lot of change here, and a little bit since it got the internet and stuff got hit, and I got the new equipment. It still feels a little bit laggy, so I have to figure out some things. And if anybody knows what this is, okay, so where is it? This thing. What is it? Okay, this is for Control Center. Launch GCC. If anybody knows what that is, tell me, because I have no idea what that's for. I don't want to play with anything that I don't know what it is and what it does and then mess something up. But if anybody knows what that is, let me know what the GCC is for these computers, because I mean there's stuff on here that I don't know that I have to learn. Like there was something else that I saw on here that I could actually do video from the computer. It's got a Realtek audio console. I don't know what terminal is, so I haven't hit that either. I mean, I can figure out weather on here. Realtek audio console. It's got a phone link. What am I going to do with a phone link? Okay. Office language preferences. That's different. It's got stuff on here. It's got a game bar. I don't know what to do with a game bar. I don't play games. Well, I do. I take that back. What is family? Okay. So there's stuff on here. I won't use Copilot because Copilot is AI. But there is something on here I saw that I could actually make videos from the computer without my OBS. So I'm going to figure that out too. Hey, you're telling me Google it. Hang on, let me Google it. What is GCC? Okay, hang on. What is GCC? GCC stands for GNU Compiler Collection. It is a compiler system produced by GNU project that supports various programming languages, most notably C, C++, and Fortran. GCC is a fundamental component of GNU toolchain and is widely used for compiling code in Unix-like operating system like Linux. Huh? Okay, so that has nothing to do with me because you know what? I don't know what to do with it. Okay, hang on. Let's see again. Alright. Launch GCC. Let's do it again. Maybe. Yeah, GNU Compiler Collection. Okay, so it's above my head. It's above me. I don't get into the dabbling in that stuff. I googled it, Richard. I did. I googled it. All right, you guys. So tomorrow I should be back to making videos. I just wanted to test this out, make this sure this is working, get over my headache. I had to get the internet fixed. So new boxes, new stuff, new equipment, everything's done. And I will be back tomorrow for you guys. Sorry, my hair is a mess. I'm in my pajamas, you know, life stuff. Alright, you guys, I love you. And tell someone you love them. Tomorrow's never promised. And make each day an adventure. And Google it. Yeah, Google it. All right, you guys. I love you, and I will see you all on the next video or live stream, whichever one comes first. If you weren't looking, I did go over the bigger earthquakes for today and the history of the earthquakes that have been big in Mexico. And then we went over the hurricanes that are happening, and then I just talked. Anyways, you guys, we'll see you all in the next video. All right, Richard, thank you for being here. George Mitchell, thank you for being here. George says he's thinking on joining the pun club, or to make one up. Well, that sounds interesting. Richard Smith says, I will be the first president of Canada. I wouldn't want to be a president of anywhere. They just have to make too many decisions. Nope. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.